The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council floated above the shining planet Astra Prime like a massive crystal ring. It was the heart of the galaxy's peace, or it used to be. Inside the hall, hundreds of alien voices echoed together, turning the chamber into a storm of sound. The council members sat in their circular seats, each glowing with the color of their homeworld. The oldest species, the Xylox Dominion, hissed through their breathing tubes as they argued with the scaled warriors of the Terran Combine. The smooth-skinned Valari, known for their calm and logic, spoke softly, trying to keep order, but no one was listening anymore. For thousands of years, the Council had worked together to protect trade, settle disputes, and keep peace among the stars. But peace had started to break. Small border wars, trade blockades, and secret weapon testing had become common. Now the tension had grown into open anger. At the far edge of the circle sat Ambassador Helena Ward, the human representative from Earth. She looked different from most other delegates. No scales, fur or armor, only a simple dark uniform and a calm face. Humanity had joined the Galactic Council only 30 years ago, a short time compared to the lifespans of most species. The others saw humans as newcomers, were ambitious, emotional, and unpredictable. Helena listened quietly while the shouting continued. Her expression didn't change, but her eyes watched everything. She had been trained for this, to observe when others lost control. The Xylox leader, Lord Zarvok, slammed his metal claw on the table. The Terran Combine has broken the ancient pact. They have moved fleets into our border systems. Across the chamber, the Terran commander growled, "Lies! The Xylox stole our mining stations in Sector 9. You have no right to speak of honor." Their voices echoed like thunder. The Valari speaker of harmony, a tall figure with silver skin and gentle eyes, raised a hand. "Please, if we keep fighting among ourselves, the balance of the council will fall. We must—" "Silence!" Zarvok shouted. "Peace means nothing when my worlds are burning." Helena pressed her fingers together and took a slow breath. She knew what this meant. The council was no longer a place of peace, or it was breaking apart. A small light blinked on her wrist device. A message from her aide back on Earth. "Fleet Command requests an update. Situation worsening." She typed back one word. "Yes." The noise in the chamber grew louder. Delegates began leaving their seats, shouting across the hall. The once golden banners of unity that hung from the ceiling now felt like lies. Helena stood up slowly and tapped her communicator. "Captain Reyes," she said quietly, "prepare the Titan for activation." There was a short pause, then a calm voice replied in her earpiece. "Acknowledged, Ambassador. The ESS Titan is ready for standby orders." Her lips tightened slightly. No one in the chamber noticed her words. They were too busy arguing. But those words carried weight. The Titan was Earth's most secret and powerful creation, a Horizon-class battleship that even the Council had only heard rumors about. Hours later, the meeting ended in failure. No treaties were signed. No sides agreed to peace. Helena walked through the bright corridors of the Council spire, her boots echoing on the glass floor. Outside the windows, she could see Astra Prime's surface, a world of oceans and cities that glowed like jewels. It looked peaceful from above, but she knew how easily that peace could shatter. Her assistant, a young technician named Aaron, hurried beside her. "Ambassador, do you really think war will start?" Helena didn't slow down. "It's already started, Aaron. They just don't want to say it out loud yet." "But what about the Council's defense fleet? The Valari fleets, the Terran squadrons, they'll stop it, right?" She looked at him with calm eyes. "No, they'll join it. Each of them thinks they can win." Aaron lowered his head. "And Earth?" "Earth will defend itself," she said. "But we won't start the fight." "Not yet." They reached the private shuttle bay. Helena stopped at the door and looked out again at the stars. For a moment she remembered Earth, the blue oceans, the green forests, the feeling of sunlight on her face. Humanity had come far since the first ship left the solar system. They had learned fast, built faster, and adapted to everything the galaxy threw at them. But the Council never took them seriously. That was about to change. The next day, the Council reconvened. The tension was worse. Some seats were empty. Their delegates had already returned home to prepare for war. Helena sat silently as the new reports came in. A mining station had been attacked on the border between Xylox and Terran space. Hundreds were dead. Both sides blamed each other. "This is an act of war," Zarvok shouted again. We demand immediate retaliation. The Valari speaker tried to calm the room. We must investigate first. Your investigations are too slow, the Terran commander interrupted. Every hour we wait, more of our colonies are at risk. Helena's communicator buzzed quietly. A message from Earth Command scrolled across the small screen. Tensions escalating. Confirm authorization for Titan readiness. Proceed if necessary. She looked up from the device and gazed around the room. All these powerful species, and some older than humanity's entire civilization, were acting like frightened children. None of them could see beyond their pride. When the session ended, Helena approached the Valari speaker. Madam Speaker, she said softly, if war spreads, the Council will fall apart. SciFi-Prime will be the first target. The Valari's silver eyes were full of worry. We are trying to stop it, Ambassador Ward, but they no longer listen to reason. Then they might listen to something else, Helena said quietly. The Valari tilted her head. And what would that be? Helena gave a faint smile. A demonstration of strength. The Valari frowned. You mean your ship? The Titan. Helena nodded once. Sometimes peace needs a shield before it can speak again. That night, Helena stood alone on the balcony of her residence. SciFi-Prime's twin moons shone in the distance, lighting the silver towers of the city below. Her communicator glowed with an incoming call. The image of Captain Elias Reyes, commander of the ESS Titan, appeared in the air before her. His uniform was dark gray and his expression was firm. Ambassador, he said, orders from Earth Command have been confirmed. The Titan is cleared for full readiness, Helena nodded. Good, but hold position. We act only if the Council fails completely. Understood, Reyes said. He hesitated for a moment. Do you believe they'll ask for our help? She looked out at the stars, her face calm and unreadable. No, she said softly. They'll only ask when it's too late. The hologram faded. Helena turned her eyes upward, past SciFi-Prime, past the Council fleets, toward the distant glimmer of Earth's home system. Let's hope we don't have to show them, she whispered, because once they see what humanity has built, nothing in this galaxy will ever look the same again. The next morning, a final report arrived from the outer colonies. The first battle had already started. The Xylox Dominion had attacked a Terran supply world. Thousands of ships were moving. The Council's message channels were full of panic. Each world called for help, for allies, for revenge. But there was no unity left. The Galactic Council, the symbol of order, was now a field of broken voices. In her quiet office, Helena finished writing her report to Earth. It was short and direct. Council has failed. Prepare the Titan for possible deployment. Humanity will stand ready. She sealed the message and looked out through the window one last time. The stars seemed peaceful, shining with cold beauty. But Helena knew the truth. The galaxy was about to burn, and Earth would have to decide what kind of power it wanted to show. She stood tall, shoulders straight, eyes clear. The Council may battle, she said softly, but Earth will endure. And somewhere, far beyond SciFi-Prime, the great shadow of the ESS Titan waited, silent, hidden, and ready to reveal the true might of humanity when the time came. The war began quietly without any grand announcement. It started with small explosions on the edge of known space. A few destroyed satellites, a missing patrol, and then an entire colony disappearing from communication. Within a week, the galaxy knew. The Xylox Dominion had launched a surprise attack on the Terran Combine, destroying 3 mining colonies and claiming the territory as their own. At first, the Council tried to hide the truth from the public. But the news spread faster than any fleet. Every world felt the tremor of war. Ambassador Helena Ward sat in her office on SciFi-Prime reading report after report. The holoscreens floated around her like ghosts, each showing a different part of the galaxy. Red zones, distress calls, broken treaties. Her assistant, Aaron, stood nearby holding a tablet with shaking hands. Another message, ma'am. The Terran fleet is mobilizing. They say they will not stop until the Xylox are destroyed. Helena closed her eyes for a moment. And the Council? Still arguing, Aaron replied. The Valari want peace talks, but no one is listening. The Xylox delegation already left SciFi-Prime. Helena nodded slowly. The Council had failed completely, just as she feared. She turned to the window. From her high balcony, she could see the Council spire shining in the morning light. Ships moved in and out of orbit, some leaving forever. The sky looked peaceful, but she knew chaos had begun far beyond it. "Send a message to Fleet Command," Helena said quietly. "Code phrase Titan Protocol." Aaron's eyes widened. "You mean?" "Yes," Helena said. "The ESS Titan will leave dock. We can't stay silent anymore." On the far side of the Sol system, deep within a hidden orbital yard, the ESS Titan came to life. It was humanity's most secret creation, a Horizon-class battleship longer than any alien dreadnought, armed with technology no other race fully understood. Its armor was made of layered nanosteel mixed with adaptive crystal. Its heart, the Helios engine, pulsed with blue-white energy, bending gravity itself to move faster than light. Inside the command deck, Captain Elias Reyes stood before a large viewing window. The curve of Earth was visible far below, a soft blue jewel in the dark. He watched as engineers moved across the hangar decks, preparing the ship for departure. Hundreds of drones zipped between weapon bays running final checks. Crew members in gray uniforms moved quickly, their faces calm but serious. A communication officer turned in her chair. "Captain, message from Ambassador Ward. She requests readiness confirmation." Reyes nodded. "Tell her the Titan is fully prepared. All systems green. The crew is awaiting her command." He looked again at Earth, the home they were sworn to protect. "Let's hope it doesn't come to this," he said softly. Back on Astra Prime, the council hall was emptying fast. The Valari speaker tried to call an emergency session, but only a few representatives arrived. The rest were already gone, returning to their fleets, their wars, their pride. Helena stood alone in the grand hall, her voice echoing in the silence. "All of them think they can win," she murmured. "No one remembers what peace costs." Suddenly her communicator buzzed. The small blue light flashed urgently. She tapped it. "Ambassador," came Captain Reyes's calm voice. "Titan is ready. We await your orders." Helena took a deep breath. "Hold position near Mars orbit. The Council still has one last chance to act, but if the Xylox push closer to the neutral sectors, we move." "Understood," Reyes said. When the call ended, Helena looked down at her hands. They were steady, but her heart felt heavy. She had joined the Council to build peace, not to prepare for war. Still, she knew the truth. Sometimes peace survived only because someone was strong enough to protect it. 3 days later, the war spread. Xylox fleets attacked Valari stations near the border. The Terran retaliated with plasma bombardments. Entire trade routes collapsed. Refugee ships filled the space lanes. Helena spent sleepless nights trying to coordinate rescue missions and send aid. But no one listened anymore. To the galaxy, Earth was still young, a small world that should stay silent while the great empires fought. Then came the breaking point. A Xylox battle group entered the Lyran corridor, a neutral zone protected by the Council Charter. The same corridor connected to the outer human colonies. When the first human cargo ship was destroyed, everything changed. The news hit Earth within hours. Across the planet, people watched the broadcast. A burning freighter drifting through the void, its hull marked with Xylox weapons fire. Earth Command sent a message to Astra Prime, short and clear. Human lives lost. Authorization granted. Engage defensive operation. Helena received the message in her office. She stood for a long time, staring at the words. Then she turned toward Aaron. "Contact the Titan," she said. "It's time." Far away in orbit around Mars, alarms echoed through the decks of the ESS Titan. Crew members rushed to their stations. Engines glowed like twin stars. Captain Reyes stood on the bridge, his hands clasped behind his back. "Set course for Lyran corridor," he ordered. "Aye, Captain," replied the helmsman. The ship's massive structure began to hum. Space itself rippled around it as the Helios engine activated. Within seconds, the Titan vanished into a burst of light. The journey through folded space lasted only minutes. When the ship emerged, the crew saw what the reports had described. The wreckage of human cargo ships drifting silently, surrounded by Xylox destroyers scavenging the remains. Reyes's jaw tightened. "Transmit warning," he said. The communication officer nodded. "Message ready." "Play it." A calm, firm voice echoed through the void. "This is Captain Elias Reyes of the Earth spaceship Titan. You are violating neutral territory. Withdraw immediately. The Xylox ships didn't respond. Instead, they turned their guns toward the Titan. Reyes frowned. So that's your answer. He looked at his tactical officer. Prepare defense grid. Shields at full strength. The Xylox fleet fired first. Bright energy bolts flew across the darkness, hitting the Titan's shields and scattering like rain against steel. The ship didn't move. It stood silent and unshaken. Return fire, Reyes said quietly. The Titan's cannons lit up in sequence, rows of glowing blue turrets extending from its hull. Energy gathered along the barrel lines, then burst outward in perfect unison. In one blinding flash, the first Xylox cruiser vanished, its energy core overwhelmed by the human weapon's precision. The others broke formation instantly. On Astra Prime, the Council's monitoring stations captured everything. The images spread across every known world. For the first time, they saw the Titan in battle. They saw a single human ship holding against an entire alien fleet. Back in the Council spire, Helena watched the live broadcast on a giant holoscreen. The Valari speaker stood beside her, speechless. That ship, the speaker whispered. It's like nothing we've ever seen. Helena's voice was calm. It's human-built. We prefer not to fight. But if we must, we will finish it fast. The speaker looked at her. The Xylox will never forget this. I know, Helena said softly. But maybe now they'll start to respect us. After an hour of fighting, the Xylox ships retreated. The corridor was quiet again. Captain Reyes gave the order to stand down. The Titan's hull glowed faintly from the energy exchange, but its systems remained perfect. He looked out into the stars. Send word to Ambassador Ward. Neutral zone secured. No further hostiles detected. Aye, Captain, said the officer. Reyes turned his gaze toward the horizon. Let's head to Astra Prime. The Council will need to see us with their own eyes. On Astra Prime, Helena received the report and allowed herself a small smile. She looked at Aaron, who was watching the same transmission with wide eyes. You see, she said gently. That's not destruction. That's restraint with power. Humanity didn't start this war. But we'll make sure it ends before it reaches Earth. Aaron nodded, awe in his voice. They won't underestimate us again. Helena turned back to the window, watching the distant stars. Somewhere among them, the Titan was coming, silent, steady, and unstoppable. The galaxy wanted war, she said softly. Now they'll learn what peace looks like, when humans decide to protect it. The stars above Astra Prime shimmered like a quiet sea, hiding the war that burned beyond the edge of sight. For weeks, chaos had ruled the galaxy. The Xylox Dominion continued to strike. The Terran Combine fought back with equal fury, and countless worlds were caught between their fire. Every broadcast, every signal, every corner of the galactic net spoke of fear and destruction. The Galactic Council, once the symbol of unity, was now barely standing. Many seats in the Grand Hall were empty. The banners of old alliances hung torn or missing. The chamber that had once echoed with reason now echoed with blame. Ambassador Helena Ward sat at her desk in silence, a single cup of untouched tea beside her. The lights outside flickered from incoming ships and evacuation transports. Aaron, her young assistant, entered with a pale face. Ambassador, it's confirmed. The Xylox fleet is heading straight toward the Valari sectors. They're attacking civilian stations now. Helena's eyes narrowed slightly, though her voice stayed calm. And the Council fleets? Scattered, Aaron said softly. They're refusing to join together. The Valari are begging for help, but no one's answering. The Terran commanders say it's not their problem anymore. Helena stood up slowly. She walked to the large window overlooking Astra Prime's skies. Ships were leaving in panic, streaks of light vanishing into the upper atmosphere. For a long moment, she said nothing. Then she touched her communicator. Captain Reyes, she said, her voice steady. Bring the Titan to Astra Prime. There was a brief silence, and then the captain's calm voice replied. Understood, Ambassador. ETA 4 hours, Helena nodded. Transmit the coordinates to the Council. Let them witness it. Far across space, the ESS Titan moved through folded light. It was silent and massive, its surface glowing faintly with blue lines of energy. Inside, hundreds of crew members worked with practiced calm. Every console flickered with soft light. Every hallway hummed with quiet power. The heart of the ship, the Helios engine, pulsed like a living sun. Its energy field twisted space itself, letting the Titan glide across the void faster than any alien ship could dream. On the bridge, Captain Elias Reyes stood before the great window. His officers watched their readings carefully as they neared Astra Prime. "Status report," Reyes said quietly. "All systems green," replied Lieutenant Vega. "Weapons in standby mode. Shields full. Council's channel is open. They're expecting us." Reyes nodded. "Good. Let's show them we're not here to conquer. We're here to protect." The comms officer turned to him. "Captain, we're receiving hundreds of incoming signals from Astra Prime. Civilian ships are requesting escort. Council members want confirmation that the Titan is real." Reyes smiled faintly. "They'll see soon enough." Back on Astra Prime, the skies darkened. The council chamber was filled once again, this time with fear instead of pride. The Valari speaker stood beside Helena, looking at the central holographic screen showing the outer atmosphere. A distant speck of light appeared, growing brighter with every passing second. The room grew quiet as the glow intensified. Then the Titan arrived. It emerged from folded space like a mountain made of silver and light. The massive hull reflected the twin suns of Astra Prime, and waves of energy rippled across its armor. Gasps filled the council hall. Delegates stood, their eyes wide. Some whispered in disbelief. Others trembled. One alien diplomat muttered, It's enormous." Another said softly, "How did the humans build this? How is this possible?" Helena stood tall, hands behind her back. Her expression was calm, but her heart pounded with pride. "This," she said softly, "is Earth's Horizon-class battleship, the ESS Titan." The Xylox ambassador, a tall figure with metallic scales, hissed in anger. "You threaten us with this machine? The humans bring war to our capital." Helena turned her gaze to him, unflinching. "We bring protection. Your fleets are the ones burning worlds." The Xylox slammed his claw on the table. "Protection? You mean control. You think a single human ship can frighten the Dominion?" Helena didn't answer. Instead, she gestured toward the screen. "Then watch," she said quietly. Outside the atmosphere, the Xylox fleet had arrived. Dozens of warships, dark and sharp, moved toward Astra Prime like a storm. Their weapons glowed red. Captain Reyes watched them on the Titan sensors. "They're ignoring the Council's defense grid," said Vega, "going straight for the city." Reyes straightened. "Then we stop them here." He turned to the comms officer. "Broadcast on all channels." A moment later, his voice filled the space between ships and planets. "This is Captain Elias Reyes of the Earth spaceship Titan. The Galactic Council world is under protection. Any hostile action will be met with defensive force. You are ordered to retreat immediately." The Xylox commander replied with laughter over the channel. "One ship? One human ship dares to stand against the Xylox Dominion?" Reyes didn't respond. His eyes were steady. "Target lock," he said. The Titan's weapon bays opened like glowing petals. Hundreds of blue lines lit the void. The massive Helios lances powered up, each drawing energy directly from the ship's core. "Fire," Reyes said softly. A storm of light crossed space. The Xylox fleet had no time to react. The beams cut through their shields like thin glass. The first wave of destroyers vanished, torn apart in silence. The explosion lit up Astra Prime's upper atmosphere. In the council chamber, every alien stood frozen. The bright flashes reflected in their eyes as the Xylox ships broke formation. The Valari speaker whispered, "By the stars, I've never seen power like this." Helena remained calm. "Now you understand," she said quietly. "Humanity doesn't fight for dominance. We fight for peace, but we fight well." In orbit, the remaining Xylox ships began to retreat, but their flagship stayed, a massive black vessel, its sides lined with plasma cannons. Reyes narrowed his eyes. "They're charging their main weapon." "Captain," Vega said, "if they fire, Astra Prime will take the hit." Reyes didn't hesitate. "Then we stop them before they fire." He turned toward the ship's AI console. "Athena, activate the Helios sequence," a soft female voice replied, calm and composed. "Helios sequence ready, Captain." The Titan's entire hull began to glow. A sphere of blue energy expanded around it, warping space itself. Reyes gave the final order, "Engage." A blinding pulse spread outward, silent and beautiful. The Xylox flagship's weapons flickered, then died. Its hull fractured, breaking apart slowly and harmlessly into drifting pieces. No radiation, no chain explosions, just silence. The Titan stood alone among the wreckage, its lights dimming back to normal. The battle was over. In the council chamber, the silence was heavy. No one spoke. The Xylox ambassador's face was pale. The Valari speaker turned to Helena with awe. "You just saved Astra Prime," the speaker said. "You saved the council?" Helena shook her head gently. "The Titan did what we built it to do. Humanity will not start wars, but we will end them when peace is at stake." She turned to the assembly. "You all saw what happened today. The council must not fall into pride again. Earth will not rule you, but we will not be ignored anymore." Her voice echoed through the hall, steady and calm. "If peace is to survive, then every world must stand together again, not as rulers, but as guardians." High above the planet, the ESS Titan drifted in orbit. Its hull reflected the golden light of Astra Prime's twin suns. The crew worked quietly, repairing systems and checking for survivors among the Xylox wreckage. Captain Reyes looked out the viewport, his face calm but thoughtful. "We showed them what humanity can do," he said softly. "Let's hope they choose peace after this." Athena, the AI, replied in her gentle tone. "If they do not, Captain, then humanity will be ready again." Reyes smiled faintly. "That's what I'm afraid of, Athena." On the surface, Helena stood on the balcony of the council tower, watching the Titan's distant silhouette. The sight filled her with pride and a quiet sadness. She knew what would come next. Fear, politics, demands. Every empire would want to understand the Titan's power, or worse, to copy it. But they wouldn't succeed. Humanity had built something beyond imitation, something born from unity, not greed. Aaron joined her, still wide-eyed from what he had seen. "Ambassador," he said softly. "They're calling it the miracle of Astra Prime. Everyone's talking about the Titan. They're saying Earth saved the galaxy." Helena smiled faintly. "We didn't save the galaxy, Aaron. We only reminded it that peace still has protectors." She looked up one last time. The Titan moved silently among the stars, its engines glowing faintly blue. The Council had battled for power. The empires had battled for pride. But humanity had arrived, for peace. And now, for the first time, the galaxy knew the truth. Earth was no longer the newcomer. Earth was the guardian. The stars above Astra Prime burned brighter than usual that night. It was as if the galaxy itself waited to see what would happen. The planet, home of the Galactic Council, had always been a place of peace. Now fleets from every corner of the galaxy circled it like vultures, and far away, the greatest storm in history was coming closer. The Xylox Dominion's revenge. Inside the council hall, Ambassador Helena Ward stood by the wide glass window, looking at the sky. The air hummed with energy and fear. Alien leaders shouted in different languages, each trying to blame someone else for the chaos that had spread across the stars. "The Xylox fleet is moving," cried one voice. "They will destroy Astra Prime," shouted another. "Where is the human ship?" "You promised help," screamed the Valari representative, his blue skin glowing faintly. Helena turned to them, calm but firm. "Help is on the way," she said simply. "But you all must stay together. If you break again, no one can save you." Her words were simple, but they carried weight. For the first time, the room grew quiet. Every leader stared at her. Some of them still thought humans were weak and small, but something in Helena's eyes made them doubt that thought. In orbit above the planet, defense fleets took formation. Old cruisers, damaged warships, and small escort vessels formed a protective ring. But everyone knew it wouldn't be enough. The Xylox Dominion's armada was the largest force ever seen. Thousands of ships, dark and shining like blades, were on their way. Far beyond the Council's reach, inside a calm corner of space, the ESS Titan waited. The Horizon-class battleship floated like a silent mountain. Inside its command deck, Captain Reyes stood before the large tactical screen. The crew was tense, their eyes fixed on the incoming data. "The Xylox fleet is now 3 light minutes away from Astra Prime," said Athena, the ship's AI, her voice smooth and steady. "Estimated number of enemy ships?" Reyes asked. 1,842 warships, Captain," Athena replied. 75 of them are supercarriers. They will reach orbital range in 7 minutes. The captain took a deep breath. His crew looked at him for orders. "We're going in," he said. "Prepare the Helios engine for full power. Set all cannons to precision fire. We're not here to destroy, they already know fear. We're here to protect." The Titan's engines came alive. The blue glow around the hull brightened until the whole ship looked like a rising star. Then with a flash it entered warp. The space around it twisted and vanished. Back on SpaceOdyssey, the sky darkened. Huge shadows appeared between the stars. The Xylox armada had arrived. Their warships blocked the light like a black curtain. From orbit they looked endless, lines of battleships stretching far beyond the horizon. Xylox commander to all units. A deep mechanical voice echoed through every frequency. No mercy. Take the capital. Crush the council. Laser fire and plasma bolts filled the void. The planet's defense fleet tried to hold the line, but they were outnumbered 50-1. Ships exploded like tiny sparks. Alarms echoed across the council hall. Everyone panicked. They're breaking through, someone shouted. The defense grid is down, another cried. We must evacuate. Helena didn't move. She looked up at the sky again. Her hands clenched tightly behind her back. Hold your ground, she said softly, almost to herself. He's coming. Then suddenly the stars changed. A single light grew brighter, brighter, until it blinded every sensor. A ship exited warp right in the middle of the battlefield. It was massive, its hull silver gray, its engines burning with blue light. The Xylox commander paused for a second. One ship? He muttered. Is that the human vessel? The humans called it Titan, but to those who saw it now it looked like something else entirely, like a fragment of the sun given shape and purpose. Inside the Titan, alarms rang, but the crew worked calmly. Target locks established, said Athena. All weapon arrays charged. Focus on the lead Xylox carriers, Captain Reyes ordered. We'll show them what humanity stands for. Heliosequence initiated, Athena announced. The Titan's core began to glow, and energy waves rippled across space. Then came the first strike. Beams of blue energy shot out, slicing through the blackness. Xylox carriers exploded in silent bursts of fire. One after another, the enemy ships vanished under the precision of the Titan's guns. In the council hall, the alien leaders gasped. The holoscreen showed what looked like a miracle. The Titan moved with grace, its shields reflecting incoming fire, its counterstrikes like lightning. That's impossible, whispered a Terran general. That ship, how can it move like that? Humans, Helena said quietly, build with purpose. The Xylox fleet tried to adapt. Dozens of smaller ships surrounded the Titan, firing everything they had. For a moment, the sky around the human ship filled with explosions, but when the smoke cleared, the Titan still stood strong. Its shield shimmered, then reset. Captain, Athena said, enemy reinforcements inbound. Then let's finish this quickly, Reyes replied. Activate the shield over SpaceOdyssey. The Titan released a burst of energy downward. A blue barrier expanded from its hull, wrapping the entire planet in a protective field. Missiles and plasma bolts hit it, but they dissolved harmlessly. For the first time, SpaceOdyssey was safe. The Xylox commander grew desperate. His massive dreadnought advanced forward. Concentrate all fire on the Titan, he roared. Thousands of plasma beams converged on the human ship. The Titan shook, its shields flickering. Inside, warning lights flashed across the bridge. Shields at 60%, Athena reported. Hold steady, Reyes said. Ready the Helios lance. The crew moved fast, typing commands. The entire ship began to hum louder. The main cannon at the front of the Titan started to charge, gathering light so bright that even from the planet's surface, people could see it glowing in the sky. Target locked, said Athena. Fire, Captain Reyes ordered. A single beam, pure and focused, shot through space like a sword. It cut through the Xylox dreadnought's armor and pierced straight into its reactor core. The giant ship exploded, lighting up the dark like a second sun. Silence followed. The remaining Xylox ships began to fall back. One by one, they retreated into warp. SpaceOdyssey's defense fleet cheered. Every surviving ship broadcasted one message across all frequencies: victory. Inside the council hall, chaos turned into wonder. The alien leaders, who only hours before had doubted the humans, now watched in stunned silence. The Valari leader turned to Helena, his voice trembling. You saved us, Helena nodded slowly. No, she said. We saved each other. Humanity only reminded you what unity can do. Outside, the Titan floated quietly, its hull still glowing with heat from the battle. Damaged, yes, but undefeated. Captain Reyes stood before the view window of his command deck. He could see SpaceOdyssey below, shining under the shield. Athena, he said softly, send a message to the council. What shall I say, Captain? Reyes smiled faintly. Tell them the war is over for now. And tell them. Earth stands ready to build peace, not war. Athena transmitted the message. The Titan slowly turned toward the planet, lowering its orbit. Across the galaxy, news spread fast. The Xylox Dominion had fallen back, defeated not by numbers but by a single human ship. And for the first time in centuries, the stars above SpaceOdyssey were calm again. Helena looked at them from the council balcony. The wind brushed against her face, carrying the scent of hope. She whispered, "You did it, Captain. Humanity has shown its true might." Above her, the Titan drifted silently in orbit, a silver guardian watching over the council's world, a symbol of courage, of unity, and of a species that had finally proven itself before the stars. The skies above SpaceOdyssey were calm once more. The stars shimmered quietly as if nothing had happened. But below, on the council's capital, the world still buzzed with tension and relief. The Xylox Dominion had retreated, their fleet scattered and weakened. The Terran Combine was rebuilding its stations, and for the first time the council members truly understood the power they had underestimated for so long: humanity. Ambassador Helena Ward stood on the balcony of the council tower, her eyes scanning the city below. Fires from the battle had already been put out, and repair crews were moving swiftly across the surface. Even with the chaos, SpaceOdyssey's cities shone like jewels beneath the twin suns. "Ambassador," said Aaron, approaching her carefully, "the council has requested a meeting. They want to discuss everything." Helena turned to him. "Everything?" she repeated softly. "They will need to understand that the war isn't over, but it doesn't have to continue. If we are careful, we can help them build something better." Aaron nodded. "Do you think they will listen?" Helena smiled faintly. "They have no choice now. Humanity has shown its strength, but we must guide them carefully. Strength without wisdom can be dangerous." Inside the grand hall, the atmosphere was different from before. Gone were the shouts and accusations. Instead, there was tension mixed with awe. Alien representatives filled their seats, speaking in quiet tones as they glanced toward the holoscreen showing the distant silhouette of the ESS Titan in orbit. The Valari speaker of harmony rose from her seat, her silver skin gleaming in the light. "Ambassador Ward," she began, her voice steady, "your species has demonstrated power beyond anything we imagined. You did not come to conquer. You came to defend. For that, the Council is grateful." Helena bowed slightly. "Thank you, Speaker. But humanity is not here to rule. We are here to remind the galaxy that peace is worth defending." Across the room, delegates whispered among themselves. Many had been humbled by the Titan's display of strength. Pride and fear had collided, and now in the aftermath, respect grew. Even the Xylox representatives who had been forced to retreat were present, their heads bowed in acknowledgement. On the streets of SpaceOdyssey, citizens and visitors alike celebrated quietly. They did not cheer for war but for survival. The message was clear. The humans had arrived, and they were guardians, not conquerors. Meanwhile, in orbit, the Titan glided gracefully. Its engines glowed faintly, reflecting in the Council's orbital monitors. Captain Elias Reyes stood on the bridge, watching the planet below. His crew moved with calm efficiency, repairing minor damages from the recent battle and ensuring the Helios engine remained stable. "Athena," Reyes said softly, "we've done our part. Now the galaxy must learn from it." The AI responded, her voice serene. "Captain, the galaxy has witnessed a force that protects without greed. The lesson will last longer than the battle itself." Reyes nodded. "Let's hope so. If they understand, peace may truly last." The Council reconvened for the first formal session since the battle. Helena walked into the chamber, her posture strong, her presence commanding attention without arrogance. She took her seat at the ambassadorial table, flanked by representatives of Earth's allied human colonies. She addressed the assembly. "Leaders of the Council, the war has shown that pride and fear can destroy centuries of peace. The Xylox Dominion may have retreated, but the lessons remain. Humanity does not seek dominance. We seek balance, cooperation, protection of those who cannot defend themselves. And that is the principle we bring to the new Council." The chamber was silent. Every delegate listened carefully, some with doubt, others with hope. Helena continued, "If the Council is to survive, it must do more than react to threats. It must act together. It must protect all species, not only the powerful ones. And it must respect those willing to stand for peace even if they are newcomers. A soft murmur of agreement spread. The Valari speaker nodded. Ambassador Ward is correct. We have underestimated the humans. Perhaps this is the opportunity to rebuild the Council into something stronger, fairer. Even the Xylox representative, still bitter but humbled, spoke. Earth's weapon, its ship. It cannot be ignored. We were reckless. We accept that. The Council must learn from this. In the weeks that followed, the Council undertook reforms. New protocols were introduced to prevent similar conflicts. Trade agreements were revisited. Border disputes were carefully examined. Every major empire now recognized Earth as a serious power, one that did not seek war but that could not be dismissed. The ESS Titan became more than a battleship. It became a symbol of balance, a reminder of what a single world could do to protect many. Its crew traveled to damaged colonies, assisting in rebuilding. Engineers and medics went to war-torn worlds not to fight but to help. Captain Reyes oversaw these missions carefully. The galaxy must know humans can do more than fight, he said. We can create, repair, and protect. Athena's voice echoed through the command deck. Your actions will inspire more than fear. The galaxy will remember your purpose. Reyes smiled faintly. Purpose and restraint. That is the difference. In the council hall, a historic decision was made. A new Council of Unity was formed. Instead of old hierarchies based on power alone, each species had a seat proportional to their contributions to peace and protection. Humans were given a full voting seat. Helena Ward was elected as one of the leaders, representing Earth with both pride and humility. During the inaugural meeting, Helena addressed the council. We have learned that strength without responsibility leads to destruction, but strength with wisdom can save worlds. Humanity has only begun to understand the galaxy. Together we can ensure that no world will suffer from war caused by pride or fear. Let this council remember that the Titan is a shield, not a sword. A murmur of approval filled the chamber. Slowly, the delegates began to discuss future collaborations, trade routes, and peacekeeping missions. Old rivalries were not forgotten, but they were tempered by respect for the humans who had shown the galaxy that restraint could be more powerful than aggression. On Astra Prime, the citizens watched as the Titan returned from its first missions of repair and aid. The massive ship floated above the clouds, a gentle glow lighting the city below. Children waved from the streets. Adults whispered stories of the miracle ship that had saved them. Helena walked among the people, speaking quietly with survivors and leaders. She saw fear replaced with hope. Where there had been anger, there was respect. This is what the galaxy must learn, she said softly to Aaron. Strength is not measured in weapons alone, but in the courage to use it wisely and the choice to protect instead of destroy. Aaron nodded. And humanity has shown that clearly. Helena smiled faintly. Yes, and now it is our duty to ensure the lesson lasts. In orbit, the Titan drifted silently, watching over Astra Prime. Its engines glowed faintly blue, reflecting the twin suns. Inside, Captain Reyes looked out at the planet, thinking of the journey humanity had made. From a small world in a quiet corner of space to a protector of the galaxy. Athena, he said, we've done well, but this is only the beginning. You are correct, Captain, Athena replied. Humanity has shown its true might, but wisdom and guidance will define its legacy. Reyes leaned on the railing of the command deck, watching Astra Prime shine below. Then let's make sure the galaxy remembers what true power means. Months passed, and life on Astra Prime returned to a new rhythm. The Council operated with renewed purpose. Aliens and humans alike worked together on trade, technology, and science. Refugees were resettled, damaged colonies rebuilt. Helena Ward stood on the balcony of the Council Tower, looking out at the bustling streets below. She saw children playing in safe parks, scientists working in laboratories, and engineers repairing starports. The world was alive again, stronger than before. She whispered to herself, we didn't conquer the galaxy. We reminded it that peace is worth protecting. That is humanity's true power. Far above, the ESS Titan drifted silently among the stars, a guardian, a reminder, a promise. Humanity had shown that it could fight when necessary, but its real strength lay in its courage to protect, its wisdom to act carefully. and its determination to stand for the greater good. And in that quiet, shining moment, the galaxy understood. Earth was no longer the newcomer. Earth was a guardian. The stars above HFY shone brighter than ever, reflecting the dawn of a new order. A council united, a galaxy at peace, and humanity standing proudly among the stars.